Hey, hey, hey. So, I wanted to share a part of my journey that happened yesterday. I was working remote from the local coffee shop that I hang out at every single day. And there was a new person that had came in. I got the opportunity to meet later into the day. It was like 4 o'clock or so. He and I strike up a very just original conversation. And he says, what do you do? Come to find out, he's a student at LA Tech. I think he said he was 20 years old. I'm not going to use his name, I don't have his permission. And at one point in the conversation, I called his name back to him. And he said, "Gosh, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name." And I said, "Well, that's okay. That's not a problem at all. But let me give it to you again." So I told him my name again. And he said, "How did you remember my name?" So I told him a little trick about how to remember names when you're speaking to people. Um, his name has a V in it. And whenever I looked over to him, where he was sitting and where his laptop were made a V. And so it was easy for me to relate that into his name. And so I told him again, I said, "My name is Tiffany." When he asked me what I did, I told him I am a small business mentor. And he said, "Well, what is that? What do you do exactly?" Love this question. So I got to tell him I work with service-based business owners on their systems and strategy. We take what they have, it's a puzzle, right? We pull it apart, we find the missing pieces, and then we put it all back together. And he thought, wow, that's really interesting. And he's in the engineering program at Tech. Really, we do similar things. His job is to take things apart, find the missing piece or the piece that's going to break or not bear the load, and be able to restructure it and put it back together. So it was a fantastic conversation that he and I got to have. But at one point throughout the conversation, he says to me, "So you've made it." Hmm. To a 20-year-old gentleman, it looks like I have made it. And whenever I heard that, I just said, "No, I haven't. And here's what I believe." And I said, "I'm glad that you brought this up because I haven't made it until God has showed me that I have made it. I built both of my businesses based on what God provides for me and puts in front of me. And I constantly put that out to the universe. God, if this is what your plan is, just let it happen." And so when he said that, I was like, "No, I haven't made it. And that's not my decision. That's God's decision." And when I explained why, he was also a person of faith. And he was like, "You know what? You're right. You have a really good point when you just said that because it's not our decision. And it's not." So it was a great conversation that he and I had. But I wanted to bring the conversation here. When do you know that you have made it? And when you think about that, what does it feel like for you? So here's a thought provoking question for you. I can think back when I first started my business and I was like, if I can just get 10 clients, oh, I've made it. Well, then you get the 10 clients and you're like, I haven't made it. I haven't made it. Same thing with a revenue number. If I can just bring in 10,000 a week, oh, I've made it. And then you do it and you're like, I haven't made it. What does it look like for you? Is it the employee count, the number of clients you have, the amount of products that you sell or have sold? What does it look like to you to think, oh, if I could just do this, I've made it? What does that look like? So I want you to think about that. What does it look like for you? What's your vision? When have you made it? What does that look like for you? And then here's another thing. When we think, oh, I've made it, I did it, I've got there. I remember having those thoughts, and now I know better. Now I know what the difference is. Whatever those thoughts are, I want you to try to reframe that. I actually have made it from that first level if I could just get 10 clients. Oh, what a great feeling. I've made it. I did make it. And you could layer that as level one. And then if I could just hire one employee, oh, I've made it. Maybe it's 5, 10, 20, right? And then you hit that milestone. I've made it to that next goal, that next layer. As we do this, we literally keep building layers of when we have made it. And making it is to the next layer, the next level, however you see that. I want to keep this short, so I'm not going to go into all the details. But you have made it. You've made it past the milestones that you have started setting. You've made it. Those first 10 employees, that 10,000 in revenue for a week, that number of products. If I could just sell 200, I've made it. You have. And then you set another goal for yourself, and another, it's like a hierarchy, right? Another layer. If I can just hit that, I've made it. You have made it. Honey, you have. And when you look at where you've come to, you have made it. And in someone else's eyes, you have made it. Up here, we tell ourselves, but I haven't made it yet, because we keep setting new layers and new layers and new layers. And as we add these layers, it doesn't feel like I've made it. How do I know I've made it? But stop and think back, because honey, you have made it. You've made it past all of those layers that you kept raising your level to. The old version of yourself could look at you today and say, girl, you made it. Dude, you made it. Because of where you were then is not where you are today. So thank you for being here. I am Tiffany Welch. I am a service-based mentor for business owners.